What is going on, guys? Nameless here, bringing you a brand new video. Now, it is a great morning. It's 8:05 a.m. and today I'm going to be recording my power rankings at the current state of the game. So let's get right into it. We'll start at number 12. Now, my number 12 ranked team is going to be the London Royal Ravens. Now, obviously, this team has been struggling since the game started, and I feel really bad for them. They've been going through a lot of things. They haven't had to have zero start yet. Like, that was one of their starters that they had in the beginning of the season, and due to some visa issues, he hasn't been able to make it over. So obviously that's been really tough. And then Alex had some personal things, so he wasn't able to play, and they've just had fill-ins left and right for this squad. They haven't had a full squad ready to scrim since the beginning of the game, and it puts them at a massive disadvantage. However, they brought in Paul X and they just won their first match, so there is a lot of upside potential for this team. I just think that, you know, as it stands right now, I have to put them at 12th. They did not play well at the major. However, they did pick up their first win. All right, guys. Now, in the 11th spot, I have the Toronto Ultra. Now, Ultra have been struggling, trying to find out the right formula, and they bring in Insight, who looks really good in his first match. However, they still lose back-to-back games. They lost to Thieves. They lost to FaZe. They had a really bad major. I mean, they beat the Minnesota Rocker. They beat the Ravens, but they just haven't been playing that well for me. And I think that, you know, they beat two very struggling teams, and they've just been inconsistent all over the board. I think Toronto still have a lot of work to do, but you could see when this team plays the potential that is there. The hardpoint looked great in the beginning of the season, then it sort of fell off a little bit. The search and destroy has been a bit 50-50, and then the control has been really bad. So for this team, due to the inconsistencies and due to some of the losses that they've had, I have to put them in the 11th position, but they still have a lot of upside. All right, guys, in the 10th spot, I have the Minnesota Rocker. Now, this might come as a surprise to a lot of you guys, but they are on a 3-game losing streak, and with their last two matches being a hot 3-0 to the Paris Legion and to the Florida Mutineers. Now, these guys have completely fallen off in terms of their gameplay from the start of the season until now. They have been bad at hardpoint throughout the entire time. They have not been winning hardpoints, and their search and destroy is starting to catch up to them. So what's happening is they're losing that hardpoint, and now they're losing that search and destroy. They find themselves down 0-2 in this series, and they know that there's another hardpoint coming up. So their mentality sort of starts to take a dip, and then they end up losing that third game, and the momentum is on the side of the other team, and they get 3-0. Now that's back-to-back 3-0s, which put them down about 3 spots in my rankings, and it's going to land them in the 10th place spot. Now, with the switch to Standy, I'm hoping that this team can get a lot better. You know, there are a lot of questions whether Major Maniac benching him was the answer. I don't know. I think Major Maniac is a very good player. However, you know, they know more about their team than we do. So maybe there is some sort of pacing dynamic or something like that that'll help them out once Standy comes onto the team. The rookies have been frying in the CDL, so who are we to question these rookie pickups? We know how good that they can be. You're seeing players like Awakening absolutely take over and win championships in his first year. You saw what Simp and Abizi did, and you saw what Ilian Shotzi did, right? So it's a proven model at this point, and I'm excited to see Minnesota Rocker in the next few weeks. All right, guys, in the 9th spot, I'm going to be putting the Gorillas. Now, the Gorillas have been playing pretty solid in the beginning of the year. They ended up getting top 6 at stage 1, which was very impressive. They got some upset wins, especially over the LA Thieves. They ended up making it into the winner's bracket, obviously performing pretty well in regular season play of stage 1. They are coming off of a couple of L's, but this team gets it done when they need to get it done. They end up getting a decent placing, so I'm going to put them at 9th. Which might be a little bit lower than maybe some of you thought I'd put them, but people seem to forget about the Gorillas. They fly under the radar, but they're extremely solid in all the game modes. When we saw them playing at the major, how good that they looked in, you know, search and destroy and in hardpoint, it was great. The problem with this team and why I have to put them all the way at 9th is that sometimes when you're watching them play, it heavily relies on apathy to make huge plays, right? Like there was their last series where only Vivid was doing anything and they got smoked. Well, you need apathy to be on point, and any team that kind of lives or dies by one player, I can't put them in the top 8. So for the Gorillas, I'm going to have them in the 9th spot. Now, in my 8th spot, I am going to put the Seattle Surge. Now, Surge has moved up about 3 spots in my power rankings after their most recent performances. I saw Prasini taking off. He was playing well, man. He had a good hard point. It was the best I've seen him play in a very long time. And I look at the rest of this team, and they all started to play well as well. So I'm excited about the future of this Surge team. And, you know, if Octane can get going and Gunless can get going, they can keep on moving up. I mean, they took Empire all the way to a game 5 round 11 where it seemed like they won 4 straight maps. They lost 2 search and destroys, and it went the distance. So Seattle Surge has moved all the way up to my 8th spot. I think they have a really solid roster. They just got to get a little bit better at control because it's still looking absolutely abysmal. But hey, moving up to 8, that's good for the Surge. All right, guys, in my 7th place spot, I'm putting the LA Thieves. Now, that looks like a huge shock to you guys, but they have lost 4 out of their last 6 games. They have not been great by any means. Their gameplay has looked extremely sloppy, and they're supposed to be a contender. They've been losing to teams that they shouldn't lose to, and for that, they have fallen. They are in the 7th place spot. They just made a change. They put Venom in for Temp, and I don't hate this change. I actually think they should have started the season with Draza. I think they need that dirty work player to allow Slasher to go out and get those kills, to give Kenny that freedom on the map, to let TJ make those plays so he doesn't have to be that guy. And I think Venom is going to allow that for them. Now, the thing about Venom is that he has to be confident. Now, I've heard that he can get nervous sometimes against top teams, and that's coming from people, you know, some pro players and stuff like that. And I actually haven't seen him play these top teams in a high stakes match, so that is yet to be confirmed for me. It will get confirmed this week if it happens against the top teams that he plays, but I think he's going to be just fine. We've seen these rookies come up and fry, and I know how good Venom is. So I'm excited to see Venom play. In challengers, he was disgusting. I mean, they were winning cups left and right. This kid was doing everything he needed to win. And I think on this team, with these players around him, he's going to soak up all that information. He's going to be a very good player. It might take them a little bit to figure it out, but they can absolutely move on up. And this is the one team I will say for LA Thieves, when you look at this roster, that they are the team that's like one change away from being a contender. Now, whether this is that change is yet to be known, but they are one player away from being a contender. I hope Venom is that guy. We've seen Slasher take off in his last match. He looks absolutely incredible. It was like him versus Clayster left and right, and he ended up losing that battle, but Slasher was frying, man. So excited for this team. But right now, 7th place spot. Let's see who's next. Now, in my 6th place spot, I'm going to put the Mutants. Now, this is a really weird team to me because I thought that they were going to be like a top 4 team when the season started, and then they took a dip and they haven't been playing that well. And then they sort of bounced back, right? Like they always have the upset potential. It's a team that you can never cut out, and they seem to be really good at nearly every game mode. Awakening has been absolutely stellar for me throughout this game. In my personal opinion, I think he's a top 5 player in the world. I think Awakening is disgusting, but as of late, Skies has started to fry once again. We're seeing him take leaps towards being one of those best main ARs in Respawn. And then we're looking at Slacked and Neptune, obviously, to start to step up and be that sub duo. I really think that those 2 players, if they start to step it up, and they aren't getting pooped on by any means, but like if they start to step up and become a dynamic sub duo, then they can be a really dominant force in the CDL this year. I think Neptune is just learning the ways right now from his teammates, and he's getting better and improving, but they're still causing these major upset wins, and whenever they lose, it really goes like far the distance, and they always make 1 or 2 mistakes that cost them in the end. So that's why I'm going to put them in that position. All right, guys, in my 5th place spot, I'm going to put the Paris Legion. This is a team that everybody had 11th or 12th to start the season. The ragtag group of guys that everybody counted out. The team that everybody thought wasn't going to be good. But guess what? Legion has shut us all up. As of late, man, Legion has been playing so damn good, man. This team has improved so much, and I know their record doesn't reflect it, but I think that this team is really good, man. They are good at all the modes now. It took them a little bit of time to figure out their S&D, and they figured it out. They figured it out. They've been winning Search and Destroys. They've been looking fantastic. Classic is back to being classic. Scraps is playing well. Aqua has been playing so damn good. This team just looks great all around. They look great. They're vibing with each other. The team chemistry's there. The hard point is there. The Search and Destroy is finally getting better. They have the slaying power that they need, and they've been pushing these series the distance, and they've been upsetting teams. So with that being said, I'm putting Legion in my 5th place spot. I think Legion's a damn good team. All right, guys, in my 4th place spot, I'm putting the New York Subliners, a team that's always down and out and comes back, hitting reverse sweeps left and right. Clayster is at the top of his game, the best he's played in years. Doesn't have the super fryman around him, and he's still playing well, man. Diamond Khan, the rookie, came up, played great in stage 1. Asim, it's his best game ever. He's been playing absolutely out of his mind. And Mac, he's still got that X Factor potential where he just takes over sometimes in game. And they've been playing well, man. They had a great stage 1, and they've been winning matches since then. They just had an incredible reverse sweep that made a team make a roster change. Clay had a freaking record-breaking performance. Like, he was dominating. He was looking like a Braun out there. So I got them in my 4th place spot. and I'm excited to see what they can do going forward. They still have an absolute beast on their bench as well, so we'll see when that comes into play. We know how good Hydra can be. Who will he replace? We don't know, but right now, New York Subliners, 4th place. In my 3rd place spot, I'm gonna put Optic Chicago. Now, Optic Chicago is a great team. They have great team chemistry. Obviously, they are a contender. We know that this team can win. It's just a matter of when. So I'm excited for these guys going forward and see what they can do. They have a couple things that they need to work on. Unfortunately, they fell at the major, but going forward, I think that they have potential to win stage 2 if they just make a couple tweaks, because they're going to have to be perfect at search and destroy to beat FaZe. Now, that is like Optic is the team that has to work on beating FaZe and Empire. Everybody else, they should be okay. They have to figure out how to beat those 2 teams. They need to review their film, master it, come through with a new look. Maybe some of these additions of, you know, Express S&D, Apocalypse, Hardpoint coming in can deepen their map pool a little bit. I think that they just got exposed with their map pool in the first major. Obviously, you know, a couple teams figured out what maps that they weren't good at, ended up playing them on those maps and taking them out. So Optic needs to do a little bit more research going into matches and figure out what they want to do. I'm moving on to the 2nd place spot. 3, 2, 1 were really easy for me to do. They're just clear cut, basically ahead of all the other teams, in my opinion, in terms of consistency. So for number 2, Dallas Empire, without question, they seem to be ahead of just everybody else besides FaZe. They seem really good. They get pushed the distance a lot, but they end up clutching up. We've seen Crim win a huge clutch 1v1 against Temp. We saw them clutch up, obviously, in their last match against the Seattle Surge. Like, they get tested, but they end up closing it out, which just shows the tenacity of a World Championship squad. And a team that, when their back's against the wall, they end up coming out on top. They still have incredible talent around the board. When you look at Hook, Shotzi, and Illy, they can win at any moment. Those players can take over at any moment, and they know what they're doing. So great team composition there, and they're just trying to figure out how to beat FaZe like everyone else. And then in the number 1 spot, without question, is Atlanta. They have been absolutely perfect throughout this game. They haven't dropped a game yet. They're 10-0. They've been winning all their search and destroys. They went through stage 1 like a freaking tornado, dominating everybody. Their team is just flawless, guys. In search and destroy, they know what to do at every situation. They push you back, they trap you, they sandwich you, and they execute you, man. Like, they have their search down. Situationally, they know how to help each other at every single moment. And yes, their respawns can get close at times, but that's a testament to how competitive our league is. Now, if you can get a major edge in any mode like that, instantly makes you a top 3 team. Like, in search and destroy, they have such an edge that even if their hardpoint were to completely fall off, they would still remain a top 3 team no matter what. Like, that's how good they are at search. And with that being said, they have to be number 1. They won the major. They don't look like they're cooling off. Simp has been frying, dude. Like, looking at Abizi, you would say he's the best in the game, but then Simp is just absolutely taking over every single game. Like, he's playing better in stage 2 than he was in stage 1. So that team is number 1. We knew they would be a problem when Optic gave them RCDs. Crazy move, by the way. So just let Atlanta get RCDs. But hey, it is what it is. They're number 1. And with that being said, that is my power rankings for stage 2 as it currently stands. This video should be uploaded within 24 hours of me recording it, so not too much is going to change. But it is Thursday morning, and there are some matches today. So I'm not on broadcast this Thursday. I will be on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, rocking with you guys. And I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Until next time, guys, it's been real. I'm Nameless, and make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, guys. I'll see you guys for the next video.